Hello and welcome to day 13 of the team tournament. Today I'm up against Grumble, and you can see he's using the 2 assault lineup instead of having the machine gun. And again, that's assaults are much faster, which gives them a lot more versatility in general, though I basically use my machine gun to be a speed bump, and for that the machine gun is much better suited than the assault. But right off the bat, you can see his bots are all moving to fight. Uh, I'm not really sure what's going on with that, but my bots are trying to respond to his pressure in the mid. I've got 3 bots moving in. My shotgun is trying to grab resources. My assault would like to, but as I mentioned before, I did make my assault a bit fightier. And so my assault is actually trying to participate, but he's got 4 bots to my 3. Even if my machine gunner does give me a statistical advantage, since the machine gun has as much health as 2 assaults basically, and does slightly more damage than an assault. It's generally I don't think I'm that disadvantaged, although he did manage to kill my assault, and that does hands down give him the advantage here. My shotgun is trying to push his away. His shotgun tried to close in a close range with my shotgun while being shot, which shotguns at close range is really their strong suit, but charging into close range with basically any bot other than a sniper firing at you is not a good way to spend your afternoon. You saw from his shotgunner moving into close range with my shotgunner that his shotgunner was immediately pushed back because all of a sudden, while he was aiming, I had already been aiming, and as a result, I fired first, and that gave me a significant damage advantage and forced him away immediately. If he had stayed at medium in range and fired, I might not have been able to push his shotgun back there. I'm not entirely sure. His shotgun, you can see there, was going for an opportunity shot against my assault, but my assault did manage to push him back. My assault is being a little brave because it responds to whether or not it's being attacked, basically, and whether or not there's an enemy close by. So it's trying to grab that resource, and that's why you'll see it running into the enemy basically pretty often. But we're almost halfway through the match. My shotgun's about to capture the second resource, which is good for me. He hasn't captured any yet. He hasn't even begun to try. He's mostly interested in fighting, which I can understand. Especially, I'm not sure when Grumble started playing, but if his AI is an older AI, I'm not exactly sure how old it would have to be, but at one point, Collection was the only game mode, and bots didn't respawn. So if you did win the fight, which he has been doing pretty well, he would have won this match long ago. But after all, 3 minutes into the match, he has won the mid resource and is currently working on capturing it. But I'm already up 2, and I'm carrying a third resource and making pretty steady progress, but his sniper did manage to get my carrier to drop the resource. Ooh, my machine gun did disrupt his carrier down here on the bottom. So that is very good for me. Basically, my machine gun, like I said, its whole job is to be an obstruction, and it did manage to succeed in doing so, and prevented him from capturing that resource, or, well, not prevented, but delayed it. He is still going to capture the resource, but it took him much longer than it should, or than it would have without the machine gun being so annoying. You can see even here, his shotgun was trying to move into close range against my assault, and even though the shotgun has a statistical advantage against an assault in close range, my assault was so far ahead on overall damage that my assault won the exchange. But that said, I am fairly secure in this third resource. If he's... it's kind of hard to say. If he spent more time trying to capture resources, he has positional advantage right now. So if he spent a lot of time trying to capture resources, he would do very well with it. But at the same time, I don't know if combat would have gone the same without him bringing all 4 bots to the fight. As you saw earlier in the match, basically the middle battle for that resource was 3 bots versus 4, and it took him 3 minutes to get the mid resource. So if he didn't have all 3 bots, he might not have won the resource, or all 4 bots, he might not have won it at all. But that said, collection is going to go to me, and we will see you in the next one. Hello and welcome to the Domination match. Here you can see he's bringing 2 snipers and 4 assaults. Assaults are a jack of all trades sort of bot, as I've said before, and they do everything okay, but I feel like Domination is the one mode where assaults are at their weakest overall, because their speed is good, but shotguns are faster. Their long range combat is good, but snipers are better. And he does have snipers, to be fair, but even at long range, machine guns are still better than assaults. They do more damage. They have more aim time as well, which is a noteworthy problem one has to address. But the machine guns, once they start firing, do significantly more DPS than an assault. And furthermore, the machine guns have substantially more health than an assault. So when it comes to holding a base, you're going to get shot. And the machine guns are much better at dealing with getting shot. So it seems to me that in Domination especially, specialist bots outperform the assaults by quite a margin. And you can see I managed to push him off of the base that he captured, and so I'm currently sitting on all 3 bases, and I've got the 2 machine guns on this top left base. I've built up a very large lead, and looking at the way his bots are behaving, he is trying to take the points, but he's just getting pushed back. His bots are, in my opinion, a bit too conservative. In Elimination, having your bots die can be literally the end of the match. In Collection, having your bots die on the other side of the field can lose you basically control of the map. But in Domination, you get so many bots and they respawn fast enough that dying is only a problem if all of your bots die very quickly. And so trying to keep your bots alive isn't particularly valuable in Domination. That's why you'll notice a lot of times, like this machine gun, it will not retreat from this position. Regardless of whether it's going to win or lose, it will not retreat. But what it's doing is sitting on this base. And it sat on this base for 2 entire score cycles, which basically means that machine gun in that fight just got me a point. And meanwhile, his 2 bots that killed it, which were getting distracted by a sniper of mine down here, he hasn't even contested this base yet. Well, he is now. But my bots were able to score significant numbers of points and able to defend the base, which is the objective in Domination. So even though his bots, if kill death ratio was a thing in Domination, his bots would be doing fantastic, my bots would be doing very terribly. But it isn't. The goal in Domination is base control. And so far, I've been controlling the bases much more effectively than Grumble has been. It's almost like he's trying to play an Elimination AI that has some nodes added in order to play Domination. And now that I think about it, I think his Collection AI might have been similar. An Elimination AI that was then told to play Collection. And in both of those game modes, keeping your bots alive matters, but much less than it does in Elimination. So his bots, you can see all 4 of his bots are on that base, which is great. That's what you want to do. That base is not contested, but there's a lot of action happening around this base. But if you notice, I managed to push with basically my machine gun, my sniper, and a shotgun. I pushed all 4 of his bots off the base, and they're not moving back onto it. So instead of having, all 4 bots on the base trying to retain control of the base, his bots are being just steadily pushed back because they're using an elimination style retreat and attack behavior. And that's why one of the things I tell people is play the objective. Combat is always going to happen in all of the game modes. That's kind of the point of the game, is that the bots will fight each other. But you have to play the objective. If you don't play the objective, you will probably lose every time. And playing the objective, it's like switching from game mode to game mode isn't as easy as just adding 1 or 2 nodes to deal with the objective. It's a complete shift of mentality. And you can see I took Domination pretty handily. But let's see. I think he's using an Elimination AI, and his Elimination AI doesn't seem that bad so far, but let's see how he does that. And now that we're in the Elimination, let's see. He's got the 2s across the board lineup. One thing I changed about, or well, 2 things I changed about mine. First, I changed the way my bots are lined up. I'm no longer doing the heavy side and assault side. I'm splitting into fire teams. I did some testing and I liked the way that was behaving. I also replaced 2 of my assaults with 2 shotguns, so that I'm now also doing the 2-2 or the 2 of each lineup. But let's see how it goes. His bots, that's interesting. All of his bots started moving toward the middle, like there was some kind of rally behavior, but I'm not entirely sure what he was doing. They only did it for a split second or 2. It might have been just hard-coded based on time. His top is pushing mine very hard, and that's not great. I do kind of struggle in 4-4 splits a lot of the time because my bots will kind of get boxed in pretty often. I need to add some map-oriented logic, but at the same time, he's attacking and trying to push my top area. I'm pushing these 2 bots very hard, though. These bots are heavily outnumbered. If these bots don't get some relief, they're going to be in trouble. And this sniper is bleeding some health here. See if I can get a good point here. So you can see this sniper took a little bit of health damage and is now being targeted by my shotguns. If it doesn't get some relief, and I don't think he's going to be able to, especially against the shotguns, because the shotguns operate at shorter ranges and tend to be they tend to be safer from a flank, and they tend to be more adept at applying very specific pressure. And there we go, my shotgun moved in, assassinated his sniper, and then went about his day. You'll notice my shotguns don't really pay his shotguns a lot of mind. It's very, very hard for a shotgun to kill a shotgun, so mine try to ignore theirs for the most part. Getting into shotgun duels is basically just taking 2 bots off of the field entirely for both teams. But my shotguns are applying pressure to his bots down here in the corner, and I have taken some health or some armor damage on this assault and sniper, but not a whole lot. His shotgun here is in a very unfortunate position for him. Shotguns, to survive, rely on their maneuverability. And because he's in this wall, or up against this wall, he has no maneuverability really left. So it's really just a matter of time before my bots finally deal the killing blow to it. And these 2 bots down here are very, very unlucky. They're being pushed into the wall as well. And there goes that shotgun. So now that's going to let my assaults, that's going to free these assaults up because they were getting fairly distracted between the 2 shotguns. I do think they're going to migrate downward. This machine gun and sniper duo will lose this eventually, but it's really just a race. Can my shotguns, which one of them has gotten into close range, destroy his bots? Yeah, both of those shotguns got into close range, that's over. So now it's 4 versus 8 in my favor, and I don't... yeah, this machine gun's going to be fine, this sniper's going to be fine. He is basically out of time, so he almost got these 2 bots to the wall, but at this point I don't think he's going to be able to prevent me from pushing him into the wall entirely or outright killing him, depending on how exactly this ends up going. But you can see his bots are steadily on the back pedal, as typically happens. If you're down 1 or 2 bots, you can sometimes recover, especially depending on position and health of the enemy team. But if the enemy team is all pretty healthy and you're down 4 bots, that's pretty much it. There's not really anything you can do at that point. So once I finished the rest of his team up and it became the 8v4 firefight you're watching now, the battle was pretty much over with nothing he could do about it. But 40 seconds on the clock, good games, and I'm pretty satisfied with how my shotguns have been behaving so far. They kept the enemy busy, absorbed a lot of damage, and got some really nice executions in there. And yeah, I even managed to push him up against the wall. 15 seconds is not a lot of time. I don't know if I'll be able to get any more kills. Maybe this machine gun. This is one of the things I was talking about. Yeah, it got stuck on the wall. So this assault is trying to retreat, but it's slowed down because of this machine gun. And because of that, it's taking a lot of extra damage. But good game, Grumble, and thank you for watching. Have a good one.